Good Morning Raccoons, first Monday of the year, best song in the world just played. Now you're invited to join us in the pledge. All right, I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Okay, have a seat, have a seat, have a seat. All right, just a few quick things as we lay out the week. Community meeting today. We're going to go over some Life Ready work around accountability. And then community meeting tomorrow. Miss Sanders will be here to go over the Pride system, how we sign up for Pride, how we use Pride, all the protocols that work around that. I know if you snuck in there early this morning, you were able to sign up for Pride today, but not quite yet. That comes on Wednesday, and we'll go from there. A lot of things to celebrate this weekend as Raccoons. Couldn't be more proud. We'll hear about them in the announcements now.
Big night Friday night when football defeated KM 30-0. The team is currently ranked 6th in the state and 2nd in the Classic 8 conference. Their season is off to a great start. Shout out to our girls cross country team who represented well at their Parkside meet on Saturday. They're in 2nd as a team. Congratulations, cross country. Boys volleyball won Saturday versus Madison East. This win was their first of the season and the first for the varsity program. Girls volleyball won the McGuanago Invite. They beat McGuanago in the championship 2-1. Impressive sports weekend for all. And to end, don't forget student IDs are required starting tomorrow. And parking enforcement begins tomorrow as well.
All right. See, that's what I'm talking about. That was a weekend for the Raccoons, a historic weekend for our fall sports as we think about the way we're kicking off everything out there representing our community with pride. Couldn't be more proud of all our student athletes. And now let's bring that same energy and hold ourselves accountable to the classroom. So Miss Sanders, Mr. Young, and Mr. Nelson are here to talk a little about accountability when it comes to Life Ready and some of the work around academic integrity, the use and non-use of AI, and when all that's appropriate. So we're going to transition here in a second for this second to last lesson. But before that, since I've got to run over, make sure things go well at main campus, I'll give you the joke to think about. What type of bug has good etiquette? I don't know. Have the best day of your life, Raccoons. 30-second timer, and then we'll transition into Life Ready work. I don't agree with this.
Thank you for staying tuned. We are going to start the next part of today's lesson for this community meeting in about 20 seconds. So just turn your volumes up, get yourself ready to go, and we'll be with you really soon. We will be starting in about 10 seconds, so just make sure you are set. All right, Raccoons, here we go.
All right, thanks everyone. We are going to talk a little bit about academic honesty today. So academic honesty is something that comes up a lot throughout the course of the semester, and we have some commitments around academic honesty and how to help you be proactive to make sure that you're doing things that you're supposed to. So again, we have our 3 core values. So when it comes to academic honesty, we want to be grounded in honesty and integrity, committed to learning, accountable to our learning and our actions. So we believe in upholding academic honesty and integrity in a manner that supports learning and ultimately academic excellence. It's up to all of us to promote academic honesty. So when you're working with your friends, if somebody is trying to be academic dishonest, you want to correct them and help them uphold those high standards that we have. So we think about our Life Ready lessons and being proactive. So think about what your core values are. How are you living up to them academically? When we think about beginning with the end in mind, are you putting in the effort that it takes to do your best work? Are you putting the effort into what's most important? If you know that you have a paper coming up, Are you putting that first and making sure that you get that paper done so that you can do revisions and drafts, and putting some of the other things off to second until you have that done? And then again, putting first things first. If something's getting in the way of doing your best, how have you tried to find support to remove those barriers? So we have a lot of supports for you. You can reach out to your teachers to ask them. We have Pride Period. We have a lot of different things that we can help you out with. And if you're struggling, please see your counselor, see your associate principal, see your teacher, and they can help you out. So group work, I know that this comes up a lot, and we have people that are asking, and students that are asking a lot about group work and how does that look when it fits in with academic honesty. The biggest thing to do is to check in with your teacher about specific requirements. From class to class, this might look different. If you're in a math class and you are taking a group test, I know that they have group team tests in math class, that is different than if you're doing an individual test. Or if you are doing a project as a group, that's different from writing an individual paper. So the big thing is that your teacher is gonna give you really good guidelines to follow those guidelines. And if you have any questions, make sure that you're asking your teacher. That's how we are proactive. If you do something that is not academically honest, there's nothing we can do at that point to help you. But if you're proactive and you ask your teacher, hey, is this okay if I do this? And then they give you guidance from there, then we can help you. So what does it mean to help someone? Helping someone means assisting them and acquiring the skills they need to learn. Hey, can you show me how I look up a reference for this? Or how do I cite my sources for this? That's helping someone. It does not mean giving them your work. If you give them your work and then they copy it, you are being academically dishonest as well. So if you give someone something and they copy it word for word, that is not only on the person that copied from you, but it's also on you. So do not share work, do not share papers. Doesn't matter if it's a new paper. If you had the class before and you're sharing an old paper with them, that still comes back on you, even if you're not in the class. And Ms. Anders in a little bit is going to talk about some of the consequences for that. But we really want to make sure that we're helping people, but not doing the work for them. And as always, like we said before, being proactive means if you have any questions or if you have any doubts about what you're doing, ask your teacher. Your teacher is going to be the #1 resource for you. So go to your teacher. Ask your teacher for help.
Thanks, Mr. Nelson. So I also want to talk about something that's come into conversation more recently. It's called artificial intelligence. Some of you may know it as AI. So artificial intelligence can be a tool to generate initial ideas. It might be a tool to check your work. For example, you might use it to spell check or things like that. However, you have to check with your teacher to make sure those are allowed. Some teachers may not allow those tools. So you need to know what's allowed and what's not allowed. And if you're not clear, don't use it until you check with your teacher. So our high school doesn't regard any work produced, even only in part, by those AI tools to be your own work. So we want to know what you know, not what an AI bot knows how to do. All the work that's submitted by a student must be their own thoughts, or you must cite those sources appropriately. So again, check with your teacher about how they expect those to be cited. So no copying and pasting. That includes if you have something generated by AI and then you try to copy and paste that, even though it's not a person that you're copying from, it is not your own ideas. And so it is not considered your own work, and that would be academic dishonesty. So when in doubt, again, ask your teacher for extra help. So what does academic honesty look like? So teachers, at some point today, please just take a couple minutes to discuss with your classes. What does academic honesty look like in your content area? It may be different from math to English to social studies to visual arts. What does academic dishonesty look like? So what does it look like? What does it not look like? Why is it important to be academically honest for your particular content area? And also, what sort of resources are available to me as a student if I'm struggling in your class? So here's a couple support options. So some ideas for you, and your teacher may have more ideas than just this, but tomorrow I'm going to come back on the RCC and I will teach you about something called Pride Period, which is a flexible period of time each day that you will have a chance to sign up for your teachers, or they may sign you up if you need extra help. So you can also email teachers, you can ask questions during class, maybe you could stay after class and ask questions too, or another time you catch that teacher. You could also book an appointment with your counselor if you're just not sure how to go about asking for help. And you could also use your study halls to accomplish your schoolwork. So what happens if you are caught being academically dishonest? So sometimes there might be some accidents that happen. So in that case, you might rewrite or resubmit the assignment or a comparable assignment to make sure that the teacher knows that you know how to do what they're asking you to do. They may, however, deduct from your grade. This teacher might call your family or meet with you. And if you have multiple violations at this level, it could be referred to an academic dishonesty offense. So if it happens the first time per class, it would be a 0 if it's on the final exam. Let's see, if it's not on the final exam, you would complete a reflection, a written reflection assigned by your associate principal for a chance to redo the assignment for half credit. If it happens a second time in the same class, so say maybe I gave my friend answers during a math test. That was my first offense. And then as a second offense, I copy my friend's math homework and I turn it in. I would fail that course because I have not demonstrated competency. If it happens a second time in a different class, so maybe I cheated maybe my freshman year in a math class, but now I'm a senior, and I just kind of got behind on my English essay, and I copied and pasted a lot of that essay, and I turned it in. Well, that unfortunately would be a 0 on the assignment without the opportunity to recoup any points because you have not, again, shown competency on that assignment. So for all of these offenses, you would be referred to the athletics or activities coordinator because that could be an activities or athletic code violation. So last but not least, I wanted to draw your attention again to our core values of being grounded, committed, and accountable. Because ultimately, we want you guys to be life ready. And part of that life ready is making sure that you are demonstrating what your teachers expect you to learn from each class. So again, classes, talk with your teachers today. Teachers, talk with your students about what does it look like to be academically honest? What does it look like, maybe to be academically dishonest potentially? And students, make sure to ask your teachers any questions that you have. So thanks, everybody. Now I'm going to hand it over to Ms. DeYoung.
Thank you, Ms. Anders and Mr. Nelson, for going through some of those skills that we need to have to be ready to be accountable in our classes. So today, one other thing when it comes to Life Ready, we wanted to talk to you about the power of inclusion. And some people are like, what's inclusion? So inclusion is basically like welcoming all of our raccoons, right? Like being kind and respectful to everyone around us. And sometimes we're challenged on certain days to do this, but when you think about it, we need to be inclusive. We need to help a friend out, welcome a friend over to the lunch table. All those different little things that you do can change someone's day so dramatically, right? Just being positive and helping and supporting all of our friends. So our friends from Best Buddies put together a great video for you to watch around inclusion and the power of it and how you can do something really positive today or any other day of the week to support your fellow raccoons. So please take a minute and watch this wonderful video that was put together and think about how you can do this and how you can put first things first and include inclusion in your life.
I am the president of the OHS Best Buddies chapter. Today, I want to talk about inclusion. What is it? What does it mean? How this can impact others and how you can help. The power of inclusion.
Imagine yourself walking into the cafeteria at lunch and not seeing a place to sit, and you don't see your friends. You feel awkward just standing there, and it makes you uncomfortable. All of a sudden, someone comes up to you. They offer you a place at their table. You don't know them, but you accept because the offer was genuine and you wanted to get to know these kind of people. Or imagine you are in your class and you don't know anyone and your teachers tell you to get into groups for a project. You watch as everyone gets into groups with friends. Almost every group is complete, but someone comes up to you. They tell you that they noticed you didn't have a group and would love you to join theirs. You sigh with relief. You feel excited to make new friends. That is the power of inclusion. Many students in our school, with and even without IDD, intellectual or developmental disability, feel this uneasy feeling but never have someone reach out to include them.
What is inclusion?
Inclusion is when you make sure that everyone is included in whatever you are doing. Including people makes sure that no one is left out. Some people with and without disabilities have a harder time walking up to people or making friends. This can create stressful and awkward situations that are not easy to work through for anyone. Many times, people that have a hard time with these things need someone else to start the conversation so that there is less pressure on them. By including everyone, no one feels left out and everyone feels better in the end.
How can you help? It's as easy as saying hi. If you see someone standing or sitting outside of the group or off by themselves, go over and ask them to join you. You may need to be patient as they might not communicate the same as you, or they just might be shy. By being patient, you may learn that you have a lot in common and may become great friends. By reaching out to someone and offering for them to join you, you may have changed a life for the better. So what are the next steps? If you want to see inclusion and its impact on a larger scale, I encourage you to reach out and join Best Buddies. You can directly see the impact you have and how your actions and words can impact others. You can also join if you want to help make a difference in not only our school, but also our community.
Well, thank you. That video really identified what inclusion is and how you can be inclusive, right? So I hope you all can take some opportunity this week to be inclusive to our fellow raccoons. Up next, we have the weather. Woo! Braden's here to give us the weather.
Thank you. Good morning, everyone. So this week it is going to be feeling a lot like summer with those temperatures all week in the 80s. Today, a high of 80 and mostly sunny skies. Tomorrow, we warm up, a high of 83, mostly sunny skies. Wednesday, we continue to warm with a high of 86 and mostly sunny skies. Thursday, high of 87, mostly sunny skies. And then Friday, increasing clouds with a high of 81. The good thing is that it's not going to be as humid as it could be, so it's not going to be feeling as muggy and hot outside, even though we are in the 80s. So that's all I got for you guys, and have a great week.